Alright, we're back. For some reason it crashed, so I am so sorry about that. I think we're back. Okay, I hope we're back. I think we're back. Let me know if you guys can kind of see it or not. I think we should be good. Let me... Okay, I think we're back. Alright, sweet. Sorry, I think something happened to this stream. No. I think my stream crashed. So I don't know what happened. But don't worry, we're all back. I think this is a brand new stream now. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Anyways, if you guys missed the previous part of the wildcard explanation, please go back and do check the previous video. But we're back. Thank you, Tain, and thank you, Easy Shark. Okay, Easy Shark, this is your team, right? Now, going back to your 26 one, I bought in March and Tony. Now, you probably don't need to go for 20. You can probably let me reset it. Let's say you did something like this. Nketiah is an issue, right? Because we don't know if he'll start or not. And at this point, I think he needs to get sold. So you could go for Tony. I think Tony is probably a play if you don't wildcard. And then, if you don't go for Tony, probably you don't. If you don't go for Tony, you do something like maybe March as a Brighton midfielder, and then you maybe change, let's say for example, a Bueno to a defensive option. You could do that, but I feel like you can slightly risk it and go for Tony. It's up your call. But you probably don't need to make that risk if you don't want to. So it's up to you on who you actually go in that specific situation. You could let's say for example for this specific situation, let's say we go for a Brighton defender in Estupinan. You already have Sanchez, so you don't really need. Let's go Ben Mee, since you already have Sanchez as a Brighton defensive option. So we'll go Ben Mee, which means you can start your Ben Mee. You can probably bench Trippier if you wanted to, or you can bench you can bench Nketiah if you assume he's not going to play. Or you could bench Trippier if you're thinking Trippier is going to get only 2 points. The difference between Trippier 2 points and maybe Nketiah coming off the bench, maybe not too bad of a difference. So you could try something like this if you wanted to. Going in 27, you've got your Sanchez, Solimarch, Ben Mee. You could now bring in Tony if Tony hasn't got a yellow card by then and you're not worried about it. You can bring in Tony for 1. So you have double 2 Brighton, 2 Brentford. I mean, you could take a hit if you wanted, where you remove Odegaard and bring in another Brighton player. Up to you if you want to do something like that. Or you can just keep Odegaard. So you could do something like this. 5 players, completely more than enough. And then if you do something like that and you go into 28, you're in a situation where in 28 you can there is the play of potentially wildcarding in 28. And actually what I'll do is we can try and do a wildcard 28. We can use your team as a wildcard 28 example. Now, it is a possibility that you can try and do. And if you were to, let's say, wildcard in 28, this is where you have an advantage of wildcarding. There is an advantage to maybe, let's say, wildcarding in 28, where you don't have to go for Brentford after that, because you've got Brentford's good fixtures. You don't really have to worry too much. Now, I haven't tested this out, so we're going to try it out live basically. But basically, I'll put these guys on the bench. I still don't mind keeping Tony, but let's put him there for now. I will bring in Leicester. They play? Yes, they do. So I'll bring in Madison. I would take Nico Williams out, and I would bring, actually, before Nico Williams, who would you want? Who double? Who double and also play? You could play Gabriel if you wanted to. Decent fixtures. This will go. You can bring in Iheanacho if you wanted to, assuming he's playing and doing good. Tarkowski has to go. You can bring in Botman. Ben Mee can be taken off for. This would completely depend on Chelsea and the situation Chelsea are in. Which I don't know and I can't tell you, but at the present moment, because none of us know, but it is a possibility, a possible play where you do something like James. You could have Kepa. This could be a play. Your negative 0.8. So where do we fix that? I guess then James is not a possibility. We can fix that via... Actually, you can keep your Kepa and you can go to Ward as a play. Oh, no, let's keep Sanchez. Maybe remove James for a Badishiel. That's a possible play. Fazid, welcome. Amit as welcome. Can you check my team? I'm 8 in your league. Planning to save Salah to Sterling or Madison in 27, Maupay to Tony, Bueno to Pinnock for -4 in 27. Is this required wildcard in this game week? We'll have a look. And then team ID for Fazid, we'll have a look as well. So this is a game week 28 wildcard that we're thinking of. I don't know if it'll work. We're gonna try and see. Now you could go without Haaland. Slightly risky, but you could do this. Let's say you bring in Kane for this specific week, right? You could transfer him out later. Would you transfer out Kane? Yeah, maybe you can. Who would you bring in? Hold on, I'm trying to think of what's a good possible situation in this specific Okay, let's say we play with 10 for now. I'm just going to say this is on 0.0, so this is going to be a very risky one. It might not be possible if you miss out on a price rise or something. So let's say we do something like this and we go into 29, right? You have your team is set up nicely for a bench boost, maybe. Now some of the personnel might change here. I haven't thought about this properly. Kane can swap for example, you could go to Danny Ings if you wanted. You could do. Then after that, it's up to you whether you want to move Gabriel as well to someone else. Who would you move Gabriel to be honest? You could go for a Liverpool player, although City and Chelsea as a double is not the easiest. If you want, that's the one issue there. Forest have a decent double. So let's say if you didn't go for Danny Ings, actually, if you didn't go for Iheanacho, if Iheanacho for some reason lost his place, you could have tried a punt over here on Brennan Johnson, although going forward after that might not be great. Who else can we punt on? Not many options, no? Oh, I haven't thought about this too much. Okay, maybe it looks decent. You can move Gabriel if you wanted to to Estupinan, right? And you've taken a 4-point hit here. 14 doublers, maybe. Go to Gameweek 30. Bring back, for example, let's say bring back Haaland. Still have your City players. I mean, your United players. It's not a bad team, right? That's in 30. Go to 31. Still looks good. Who would I change? Maybe Iheanacho out. Could start Solly March if you wanted to. Oh, actually, I forgot to add the possible projected fixtures. So you could do something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doublers, possibly, assuming Brighton and Newcastle get that double. Triple United against Forest, Saka against West Ham, good defense. Roll the transfer, basically, go to 32. And now here is where things change. Now in 32, you could use your free hit. Or what if we did do Liverpool play? Yes, they do. You could do Fernandes. Can you do it? I don't know. We'll see. No, it's probably not possible. I would have loved to do Fernandes to Salah. Would have been nice. But I think I'm short of cash. What would I have to change? I'm not really sure on this specific situation. Slightly short of cash here. So maybe you can try free hit as a possibility. But this is where it's slightly, you might have to think about it. So maybe play around with it and see. This is where I slightly get stuck. From 32 onwards, it's very hard to tell. 32 is basically, when is 32? Gameweek 32 is like so far. 32 is basically the end of April. We're basically almost two months away. So anything can happen by now to then. So it's hard to tell. Maybe you play a free hit here. If you were to play a free hit here, then I would do a transfer here. If you were playing your free hit there, I would do a transfer here. So that you set your team up for 33. So because when you get 33, you'd have something like this. What would you change? Sorry. You would have bought someone else here to use your one free transfer in 31. If you free hit it in 32. I don't know. So Wildcard 28 and free hit 32? I don't know. Well, Wildcard 28 and bench boost in 29. This is a good bench boost. The advantage here is you don't have to use your Brentford defense. This is actually a pretty decent bench boost option. Now, the thing here is you're using double Brighton defense compared to maybe double Brighton attack. I do prefer double Brighton attack over double Brighton defense, but the replacement case in this specific situation is you have Rashford, Fernandes, Saka, Addison, and Marsh. It's solid. You could actually, you could keep it like this. Yeah, it's not a bad issue. So like you would wildcard 28, bench boost 29. Free hit in 32, you can avoid not free hitting as well because you have 2 free transfers. But it's hard for me to say at the moment. I think we'll have to reassess it in 27 or 28, which is the current situation. I haven't. It's that's something we'll probably have to think about. At the moment, I can't say. It's because the reason I can't say is because we don't know what's going to happen in 34. In terms of the doubles in 34 and 37, it's very hard to predict. And unfortunately, I think we'll only know that information after Gameweek 28 is done. Now, I will tell you, unfortunately, one slight downside to this is that your wildcard in just before an international break. That's the one slight downside to it. You're wildcarding just before an international break. So 28 and then international break, and then you go into 29. So players may get injured. That is a slight risk. That's the one downside, but it is something to think about. But just looking at your team, feel like it doesn't really need a wildcard. Here's the other thing, right? I haven't really spoken about this, which just struck me. Is I'm just going to reset this because you can probably go back and watch it as well. So, say for example, this was your team, right? What did I do? I bought in me and March. Let's say for example, I'm just going to reset it completely. Let's say, for example, you did Enketia. You said Tony, right? Let's say you did something like this. Maybe we start Sanchez over Ward because we're not confident on... Nico Williams at home, I won't... yeah. Nico Williams at home isn't too bad. So you did something like this, right? For 26. You go into 27. And you have a team like this. You do... What did we say? We said... Bueno to, let's say, Benmi. And Odegaard, maybe Odegaard. You can do something like this maybe for a hit. It's a doable situation, right? Something like this, and then you go into 28. Kind of seems like it wants to be wild carded. You can probably do a free hit as well. Let's say you were to do a free hit here. What would the team be like? You could do a free hit in 28, wildcard in 29, and bench boost later in like 34. But the bench boost is so far behind. You don't really maximize the bench boost then, which is a problem. So the better option would be wildcard 28, bench boost 29, and free hit maybe 32 or 34, depending on the situation around the doubles. Then you kind of maximize the bench boost, because if you try to when you have I had this last season where you have a huge gap between wildcard and bench boost, then the bench boost isn't as effective, unfortunately. So yeah, I'll let you think about it, but something to ponder about. Alright, let's go to now Fazid's team. Not Fazid, sorry, Amit's team first, and then we'll look at Fazid. Alright, Amit, let's bring up your team. Let's swap over. What happened just now? What went wrong? Alright, Amit is doing really well. Number 8. Are you sure you want a wildcard, Amit? You're doing so well. What changed? Let's see. Alright, let's bring Amit's team. I'm gonna copy this. And we're gonna go back to the screen. We're gonna change it. Alright, Amit, I think this is what the team is looking like for you. And what did you say? Planning to save Salah to Sterling or Maddie in 27. Morpie to Tone, Buene to Pinnock for -4 in 27. Okay, let's. So the team for this week would look like. Will Luis even start? I guess if Luis doesn't start, you bring on one of these guys. Yeah. Cool. I mean, this looks pretty decent as well, to be honest. It's got everything you need. So you said... I mean, captaincy will depend on who you put it on. I have no idea. At the moment, you can put it on by the Saka or Haaland. So you do a team like this. You go into 27. And you said... Salah to Sterling. Interesting. Why Sterling? Oh, Madison. So you're not willing to so you're not wanting to target the doubles in 27? Is that the plan? So you said Marpo, him to Tony. So you're not are we not looking to target the doubles of Brighton? Let me know what you think. Because you could go for the doubles in Brighton. So you could probably even go to a Brighton midfielder for Salah. And another player if you wanted a double. Let me know. You could do like even... You're going to have to bench an Arsenal player for this week. 3 doublers, not too bad. You could do something like this. But then you go to 28 and you're in the... Okay. Yeah, when you go to 28, you're in a problem. Actually, go back. Let's not do that. I kind of see why you're not doing it. What if we did... No, never mind. I don't even know if I want to do that. Sterling to Fernandes to Gameweek 29. Want to say my wildcard for 33. Yeah. Fair enough. So let's do what you said, right? You basically said Tony, Salah to Sterling. Bueno to Pinnock. Who are we dropping? Are we dropping Saliba? Something like this then? And then you went 28. You had... Who are you dropping in 28? What's the changes over there? I think Andreas probably goes to someone. And Brighton in game. Sterling Fernandes to game 21 same. Or do you play with like 9? Yep, that's not too bad. Is Luis making a move? And Brighton in Gameweek 29. Who is the Brighton as well? I wonder if you can do something like... no money, sad life. Guess you could do something like this. The problem is Luis. One short of a stupid one as well. Let me know what you think. I mean, you don't really need to wildcard. I can see the reason why you don't want to wildcard. But at the same time, I think there is some level of upside you're missing. Because I look at your Gameweek 29 and you probably can maximize the doubles a bit more. Is what I'm thinking. I just think there's slight upside in 29 that you're probably missing out on. But have a think about it and see. I would also maybe put it into a few models, see what the expected points would be like and all. In Game Week 28, Luis goes to phase. Okay. So you play with 10. Game Week 29, you say Martinelli goes to March. And Andreas to Mitoma. Okay. I see what they're playing with. Yeah, actually, this is not too bad. Now when you say it like that. This is actually not too bad. Now, phase... I wonder if even Johnny Evans is also not too bad. I haven't checked. I haven't compared phase and Evans. You might want to try and do that. But yeah. That, now that you put it like this, it's actually not too bad. What are you missing? I guess you're missing Madison. You're missing maybe Iheanacho. Those are like the few players you're... Maybe Madison, maybe Iheanacho. Anyone else particularly you're missing? Not really. From the big hitters, I think Kane versus maybe a double game week, it's not too much of a difference. I think it's still pretty good. Yeah, to be honest, this is a decent bench boost. It's not a bad bench boost. It's actually a pretty decent bench boost with players with good fixtures. It's not too bad. Yeah, you could, in your specific situation, you can save your wildcard. See, this is the thing, right? Again, a wildcard in 26 is not really applicable to everyone. It doesn't really need to be wildcarded in 26. Now, we saw Easy Sharks one. Maybe a wildcard in 28 for him works. For Amit, wildcard in 33 works. So it's all very team dependent. So this is actually a good example for everyone who's watching this. Bruno does work for Maddie. Kane has good record with Evan. Yep. Exactly. So it works. Kind of, I mean, makes sense what you're trying to do here. And then you would have something like this. Maybe you go... Who would I even drop here? Maybe I drop Tony. I don't even know. Play something like this maybe. For 31. And then 32... 32, you... What are you going to do? 32... I guess if you're wildcarding in 33, you basically dead end your team, right? In 32. So if you're dead end in your team, you can basically remove the likes of Fernandez for someone. You can remove Haaland if you wanted to and bring him back. So you could have done like, I guess, Salah. And then maybe I don't really want to go back to Liverpool, but it's possible, right? If you're dead ending, you could do something like this: 2 free transfers. You haven't even taken a hit yet, and then you can maybe take a hit to bring in 11th player. And then you basically dead end your team and then wildcard in 33. Works for your team completely. All right, so that's Amit, and then finally Fazid. This is a kind of good idea to kind of like see where do you really need to wildcard in 26? Not really. You can wildcard in 28, we've seen. You can now wildcard in 33, we've seen. Game week 32 is free hit for sure, and game week 33, wildcard for Liverpool Sphinx. Yep, that's also not too bad. You can do that. Yep. So yeah, there are various chip strategy options, and it's very dependent on your team. And finally, Fazid 5076713. Again, team dependent. Now, Fazid said we'll be grateful for some chip and transfer strategy. Now, what's your team looking like? How much money do you have? 1.1. Ooh. What you could do, where he is in defense, you could do, let's say, again, this could be anyone. It could be March, Mitoma, McAllister. I'm just adding here for this, like just to get like a player in. Let's say you went something like this for start, right? Because your team looks good. It doesn't need to be wildcarded per se. Go to 27. This is where it gets slightly tricky. I'm just trying things out. Is there anything else I can do? Do I really have to drop Salah to be able to afford it? Ah, man. Could do something like this if you wanted. If you can't afford Tony, and let's say for example Tony has picked up a yellow card, who would I even drop? I don't even know who I would drop, to be honest. That's another thing. Who would you drop for Mbeumo, to be honest? Everyone in the midfield and forward line looks too good to even think about dropping. So maybe you do like a Kilman to Ben Mee if you wanted. If you wanted any Brentford cover. Or even a Pinnock instead of Rico Henry, or let's say even Pinnock if you're struck for cash. And you did something like this. 3 players is not too bad. Must get Tony somehow, at least one Brighton and defense. Okay. Then you need to sacrifice. Okay. Would I recommend? I don't know. Very, very tough one. To be honest, I would honestly Samuel, how are you doing? Welcome. One Brighton mid and one defender. Okay. Let's go back to let's start from scratch, right? You would go, so this would be your team. Right? For this week. Now, you can, what would I even change? If you drop in Salah, you might as well just do it now, to be honest. If you wanted to. This could change slightly different else, but unfortunately to get Tony, you need to drop either Salah or Haaland. Let's say even Kane, to be honest. Could happen. Depends on where you want to drop. So let's say we did something like this. Yonto would go for Tony. Right? And Tarkovsky would go for a Brighton defender in Stupinan. -8. -8? No, even -4. This is a -4 basically. 4 doublers. You got yourself a Tony. Obviously had to sacrifice Salah for it. and then you basically go into game week 28 with 9. You could risk dropping Haaland, for example, with Amit says thanks Ryan for suggestions. No worries, Amit. You could drop Haaland for, who do you want to drop Haaland for? Iheanacho maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Play with 10 if you wanted to. Or could even bring ooh, I'm just going to try this out. I have no idea whether this will work or not. It's not too bad. Bench kind of needs a bit of a fixing, don't you think? You'll have to, I guess in your bench, you're just moving 2 players out for a -8. You could still keep Kane. Read my chat. I just came. Please repeat. When will there be break? Who will have double game week and who will have blank? Oh, all of that you can kind of find out from this. Just look at the fixture ticker. All of that information is right there. In terms of who will blank, who will double, all of that is in the fixture ticker. And for anyone who wants to use this site, I'll put it in the chat again. All of that is here in this fixture ticker. What do you think, Fazid? Got Bruno. I guess you can move Guehi to even Shaw if you wanted to. But when it comes to, I think, removing Kane before Southampton is tricky. No, you don't have to remove Kane, right? You keep Kane. We removed Haaland. Want to hear it from you? Or then you have to go at the start of the video. We explained it at all at the start of the video. So you don't have to remove Kane here. What we did was I removed Haaland. Now you'll have to go 1 week without Haaland against Liverpool. You might have to. That is something you probably have to see whether you want to risk that or not. And so here you've done a 4-point hit. You can also move Kilman out. And you can bring in someone. I don't know who at the moment. Maybe a defender. We haven't probably decided who. But yeah. What do you think about this, Fazit? You haven't played your wildcard yet. Again, you can also probably go like Amit and play your wildcard in 33. Team, this will adjust itself. Here you can bring back Haaland. And if you wanted to, you can bring back Haaland for... Can you do something like this? You would have to drop someone. I would probably... I don't mind dropping... What's happening here? At the predictors, sorry. I don't mind dropping Bruno back again if you wanted. Try not, because you're 0.6 short, so... Bring in someone else here in terms of game week 30. Maybe go back to like an Arsenal midfielder if you wanted. Oh, but Liverpool. I'll let you think about that one, that specific situation. In how you want to handle it. If you wanted to bring back Haaland, maybe you keep Tony and you go Kane to Haaland. As a possible move, something like this. Not the worst case. Yeah, that's the thing. So, but I don't think money will be too much of an issue. Depends on who you're trying to get, because all these drafts we've done, we still have money in the bank, 3.4. Although you are sacrificing certain players to try and make it work, which is why you guys have to plan this thing properly, and how you would want your team to look. But this is something for Fazit as well. Something for you, Fazit, to maybe try and think about and see. Okay, now just to answer Samuel's question, in terms of who is going to double, who's going to blank, basically in Game Week 26, obviously no doubles or blanks. Game Week 27, we have Brighton and Brentford both doubling alongside Southampton and Crystal Palace, although I wouldn't really advise too much for Crystal Palace and Southampton to go and get them. If you already have them, like Fazit, it's fine. If you don't have them, don't really need to get them in, because their fixtures going forward also aren't great. In 28, we have a couple blanks in terms of Brighton blanking, Fulham blanking, Liverpool, City, United, and West Ham. Those are the teams that blank. In 29, we have the biggest double game week that's going to happen this season. And there are Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, Chelsea, Leicester, Leeds, Liverpool, United, Newcastle, Forest, and West Ham all doubling. And then obviously 30, we're back to normal. 31 would depend. 31, we could potentially have a double game week with Brighton and Newcastle, but we're not sure. That's a possibility. If it doesn't happen, it'll be a normal game week. And 32, there will be a few blanks depending on the FA Cup fixtures in Game Week 28, or the FA Cup quarterfinals, depending on that which takes place during Game Week 28. We could have a couple blanks in Game Week 32, and then 34 and 37 will have doubles, but all of that will depend on the FA Cup fixtures in Game Week 28. So that's basically the kind of high-level overview and summary of the situation. Now, going back, just to end these things off, one final other draft that I was thinking about and I haven't thought properly yet is any injuries or price rise and drop may also cause issues to bring these players back, and keeping up money in the bank does not make sense instead of spreading them. It depends, because you can make I do agree in one, if you're very tight on cash, because team value will play a major part in this. So team value, chips available still also plays a major part in this. You don't always have to spend all the money. You can still make a good draft. Just because how the prices this season have happened, you can still make a good draft and still have decent amount of money left. Now, I could probably, instead of going Madison, I could go Martinelli. And I still think this is a pretty good draft for Game Week 26. And then I would go into 27. Still looks good. Got my triple Brentford, triple Brighton. I go into 28. I would play with 10 men. I moved out Haaland into 28. Now, I've added Felix here. It doesn't have to be Felix. It can be someone else. It could also be Iheanacho. If he was fit and firing as a possibility. Then you go into 29. Felix was here. I bought him in for Harry Kane. It doesn't have to be Felix as well. It can be Danny Ings if needed be. Or it can be Felix. Doesn't matter. Depends on the situation. It's just for one game week most likely. And then I also bought in Fernandes for who made way? McAllister. And then I think Martinelli can also go for who was I thinking? For Madison. Something like this could happen with a -4. I'm happy to, like I mentioned previously in the video that got crashed. Go check it back in the on the channel. As to, you could keep Gabriel, you can move Gabriel to Shaw. And I kind of explained the reasons for keeping Gabriel or moving Gabriel to Shaw. We saw that earlier. But again, you end up with at least 14 doublers, and Saka and Gabriel against Leeds is as good as a double game week player as well. So I don't see any differences between playing these two and still bench boosting. Or if you wanted to do Shaw, you can, but it depends on chip strategy for the free hit, where you play the free hit. So yeah, those are the current couple wildcard situations. Hopefully it helps people. You could go without Harry Kane. If you're going without Harry Kane, straight away go Watkins. But I do like Harry Kane as an option because of the fact that Wolves, Forest, Southampton are 3 good fixtures, especially come game week 28. Kane or Saka might be 2 favorable captaincy options. Saka against Palace, Kane against Southampton, both could be pretty good captaincy options. So up to you who you want to like kind of go for. If you wanted to get 11, you could also do it in game week 28, which I've just realized. I could do Madison to McAllister straight away because I'm anyway going to bring in Madison and I can play a full 11. Go into game week 29 and I only still need to do just a -4 where who happened? Yeah, I still do a minus, so I can play a full 11 in 28. And then bring Fernandes for Martinelli, and I moved Kane out for, in this specific situation, Danny Ings. To be honest, I could have still kept Kane against Everton. Not a bad fixture, to be honest. You could just still do that as well. Completely viable. So it's up to you and not take a hit. So there are a few possible scenarios that can happen. I do like the look of probably not starting with Madison just because I can target the Arsenal fixtures with Bournemouth and Fulham. Or maybe Fulham I don't really target because I might end up benching Martinelli in this specific situation. But yeah, something to think about for people. Hopefully this video has helped you. I think we'll end it here. We've basically done 2 videos. So if you haven't, check out the first video where we went into it completely in detail of the wildcard. And then that ended and we started this second one where we were looking at you guys and your teams. So have a look. Let me know what you guys think. We will have the deadline stream tomorrow. So do tinker. If you have questions, put it in the comments of the video once the video is done, and I will try and help and answer them. If you enjoyed the content and if it's helped, do hit the like button, subscribe while you're here. Do tell your friends as well. If you have friends that play FPL, do tell them as well. We're trying to get to 500 subs. Hopefully, on the deadline, we can hit 500 subs. So that's basically it. Wildcard content. Let me know what your thoughts are. We will end it here. So thank you all for watching. And thank you for keeping me company. So Ishak, Amit, Fazid, Simonal, and Tin, thank you for joining me. And anyone else who's been watching in the background as well, thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good night. Enjoy your week and weekend. And I'll see you all for the deadline stream tomorrow. Having said all of that, peace out. Enjoy the tinkering. If you're not playing your wildcard, relax. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, everyone.